This
entity
conference will now be recorded.
and the entity on the subscription end. Okay, so you have to think of the security mechanism. What is the type of security mechanism depending upon the application? More so, when it is getting transmitted, the transmission, this transmission transport layer, then the more security point is going to be encountered. So therefore, your question I may probably answer only in this way. TLS security you have to concentrate on the transport side, and then on the entity side, the confidentiality, then integrity, then authentication. So for all those things, you have to take care of this one. And if you are more interested, I have a research paper on this. Yesterday I searched and then got it. And then if you share the email, I will be able to help you further offline. Okay, I think it will be sufficient for Mr. Suresh. And thank you for your question. That's one of the very good, intelligent question. I'm happy that learning is taking place with the participants. So that's a good moment for me that these sessions are going very successfully. First of all, I want to thank all the participants who are with me right from Monday, and almost 3 sessions are over. I hope you all enjoyed the 3 sessions. One is introduction, then you have got these MTM communication, and the other one is the IoT security. And yesterday you would have seen from Mr. Arul Velan, that is machine learning session. So one of the component in the machine learning taking lead is the artificial intelligence. Okay, probably some ideas now in this today's presentation we will give some trigger on this, let us say this artificial intelligence and so on. Okay, so with that scope in mind, I will now start the session on smart cities. Okay, as a super application domain of the IoT. This is the consolidation. More to say, today's presentation will be you have learned all the elements. Okay, a lot of elements separately we have learned. There is devices on hand, and then there is a device domain, then MTM application domain, then access domain, then we have learned about the device, that is the application domain. And then we have got a concept of vertical, and then for the individual applications. And then like this, there are so many applications. How vertical applications, how those vertical applications have to be integrated. When the integration comes, it becomes a horizontal domain, horizontal network. Okay, so now a typical application of a horizontal network, okay, where the MTM, then IoT, all these things are applied, is a very classical case is the smart city. Okay. Now it is not new in India. Smart city is coming in the large scale, and many of the cities have been already started implementing some of the cities they have implemented, and it is one of the famous projects of the government of India for the smart cities. Now, today's session is the motivation. Now, we have a lot of IoT network where sensors are there, social networks are there, networks we are having with the mobile applications are there. There are networks with the World Wide Web, and then they are all there, every place we are going to connect the legacy devices. And then in that network, IoT devices are going to be connected. All these devices on one end, we are going to connect it. And then there are a lot of verticals, multiple verticals are there. These devices going to be made use of in the retail sector, then home sector, then it is going to be used in the transportation sector, then education sector, security sector, building sector, and energy sector. So there are a lot of technology being used, and then these multiple verticals they have to be integrated. When they are going to be integrated, so the collection, the data has to be collected, they need to be analyzed, and the knowledge what is to be has to be built, and then they have to be put into action. Okay, so when you use these multiple verticals to get integrated, there are a lot of technical challenges out there. So one of the first challenge is the interoperability. So what is the interoperability? I already explained it. Suppose now there is one this one you have a payment card, and when you get into a bus, and it is a multi card where it can be used in any of the transport segment, metro rail, then bus, and then intercity bus, local bus, like that, wherever you get. So now there is one card is there, and the card is being used in one machine of the bus where the end device is from different company, and the metro train you are taking the ticket, and that MTM machine is a different maker. When the card is being used in both the machine, the intelligence and the technology built in the card, whether it is going to be applicable commonly in the machine, machine used as an end device in the bus and the machine used as an end device in the train, whether they are going to be commonly entertaining the technological environment of the car which you are purchasing from a common seller. So if it is able to work in all the places, then that is called interoperability. Then another is called the scalability. Scalability in the sense, if suppose now, if that machine is able to capable of 100 customers handling at a simultaneously, then if the network is able to balance, when there are future it is going to get increased, say 100 will become 1,000, 1,000 will become 10,000, then whether your network is capable of scalable with such a proportion of improvement in the traffic, whether your network, that is the application domain of the IoT, whether it is able to meet that. Another point is the security and the privacy. Much have been discussed yesterday about the security and the privacy. Still, a lot has to be thought over. And when you are integrating, when it comes to commonality, that is what we call as the brain of the city. It is a platform, common platform where the data is collected, analyzed, and then knowledge-oriented analytics are made, and then planning and action has been put into place. So how all these things are done? So now my point is, I've taken a use case. I've taken a use case wherein this project has been implemented. Take for example, I'm just taking a classical example of Bhubaneswar city, smart city, where these particular applications are being developed and then introduced. So my idea is to taking this. It is not, I am not skeptical of using this particular bonus. It is only as a chance. I chanced on this city, and then since I had experience in associating with the smart city at Chennai, I could take that present example of Bhubaneswar, where it is very comprehensive. Academically, it covers all the fundamentals, and then those fundamentals, how they are getting implemented. So that is a very good application. And then I will start. My thing is that my job today is that it is just like that. You have taken provisions from a shop. You have taken these imli, rice, dal, and so many things, oil, everything individually. It is just like for the past 3 days we have discussed about MTM application devices, different type of networks, different type of network. All these things independently we have seen. So many different verticals within. Now today my job is how all these ingredients like dal and the rice and oil, everything, how to make a good sabzi, and then how to make a good table meal. And that is my job there today. So today my more job is making a chef and getting all the ingredients what we have procured for the past 3-4 days, and then make a comprehensive meal. So that means the different ingredients like IoT, M2M, devices, wireless sensor network, different type of communication, wireless, this, that, and so many things we have seen. All these things I will try to stitch together and make a good, tailoring job I will do. See that how a very good cooked meal will look like, and that is what is the smart city study of case study of a particular thing. This is all the more motivation. I can tell you that this is very important, because this will pave a way for all of your academic professionals, and then guiding students for making projects, different projects, and then this will give you a very broad idea, and then explanatory notes and discussions and trigger your knowledge. so that you will be able to guide your students for making a project in individual vertical, and also make a more comprehensive horizontal network, making the ingredients, and then how, and you will get a knowledge of getting or stitching them together. Okay, so that is the job, that is the motivation. And at the end of the program, you will all have a full-fledged enjoyment as if having seen a full-fledged cinema. And at the end of the cinema, you will come out and then see how good the story was, how good the objectives of the story have been nicely stitched and then how the moral has been okay, has been brought out of the story, and it will start ringing in your mind. That is the objective of today. Hope you will enjoy the session, and then I'll start continuing further. Okay, all of you, my voice is okay, and then all of you are happy, and then can I proceed? Is it okay? Is it okay? Shall I proceed? So shall I proceed? My voice is okay? Good. So many of you told yes, so I'll proceed. Okay, now going forward to smart city application. I told you that I have taken the case of Bhubaneswar smart city, and then in this slide there is nothing to explain except giving you the title story of the show. That is my session, what is going to be taught. Okay. This is the integration of a smart city means all the verticals, the requirements are going to be stitched. And then on my right hand side bottom in the Bhubaneswar name, at the top you can see different verticals. Transport is there, and then transport and smart homes are there, smart educations are there, smart cycling is a small thing. So that particular the logo gives a continuous focus on the title story of what means of a smart city, and then technically looking at that and the background, you will see that lot of verticals are there, and the verticals are going to be integrated. And the story line today is integration of all the verticals, how actually physically being done. Now, intelligent city operations and management. Okay. So it is the core management concentrator of a typical smart city center. Okay. So this will have different modules. Okay. One is the traffic management, then transit operation, parking management, and then common payment card, emergency response, in common control center, YCP infrastructure, and then ERP in e-government. ERP and e-governance are all applications for management of the government. ICT infrastructure is the integrated core access network involving 3G, 4G, 5G, Wi-Fi, and then optical fiber network, and then so on. Common control center is the integration center where all the activities of the government through the smart city network will flow in, and then centrally it will be managed. Emergency response and emergency and response management, all of you are familiar coming across in the corona this one, disaster management, and what are all the modules and other things are made. And common payment card, when I say common payment card, now in our session you have to look at it not being a card which will help us in making payments and then credits and then debits, and more so you have to think it is a machine to machine communication wherein the cards have got a chip, and the chip has got the intelligence built in, and then how that intelligence is going to be made use of here. And parking management is one of the vertical where sensors will be provided, and then how the parking lot is going to be managed. Then transit operations is the many of the concepts of a central government. The transit operation is that a payment made in the payment network, how it is getting integrated to a common control center, and that how information, a payment made in a common payment card for railways, bus, and then taxis, the payment made in a bus, the debit will be made in your card. At the same time, the same card is used in the transport, and the debit will be made in the same card. So this is one of the one of the events which you are going to look at is the operation, transit operation, and then traffic management. The traffic management is the signaling management, the road, and it is more the smartness built in that when there is going to be a congestion in a particular road, it will give you an indication for the rider and the taxi or a car that in a particular road the congestion is so much, then this is probably the alternative road you have to take it so that you can reach your destination quicker. So these are all the modules contemplated in a smart city management. These are the individual. Now we will see one by one quickly and then see further how all these things are going to be integrated. Now, one is the adaptive traffic signal control system. What is called the adaptive control? Adaptive control is told. I just told that it is not a fixed algorithm. Adaptive control means how to reroute the traffic, how when the congestion meets, how to reduce the congestion, and then when you stop in a particular bus stop, you I don't know whether you have encountered that. You will say you will get an indication in the bus stop that the bus will arrive. The particular bus of the particular number will arrive at such and such a time. Exactly, you find that the bus will arrive at exactly that time. You see in the metro trains, if you see in the platform, if you stop, you will say the train bound for the destination will arrive at the platform exactly at 9:21. The 9:21. How it is being calculated? The distance is by weighting. Okay. Average. It optimizes a weighted combination of delay of the train which is supposed to arrive based on the number of stops and the distance in a real-time basis. So this is called adaptive traffic. Okay. So probably here they use Central for Development of Advanced Computing and then COSI cost technology. This is COST. This is a technology developed by CDAC. That is made in India. Okay. So this is the traffic system. This is being used there in 58 intersections. Okay, and then circles. Okay, 15 circles and so on. Okay, so this is called an adaptive traffic control system. This is one of the part of the smart city, and then it is a modular in nature and provides flexibility for relocation of traffic in case of congestion, in case of suppose in particular road there is an accident and it is blocked, all the vehicles bound for that direction will be rerouted because the sensors in the bus and then the sensors in the traffic signal. Sensor in the traffic signal, that vertical senses the accident which is taking place through the camera, and then command control center it flashes that information. The command control center in turn identifies what is the alternative route and which are all the cars destined toward the destination. Okay. Then immediately they are sending notification to those cars which are bound for the towards the particular destination, suggesting them a route so that alternative shortest path this can provide. So this is called the modular nature, providing flexibility for relocation of traffic. So this is one of the examples of smart traffic signals and one of the component in the smart city. Okay, then coming to the common payment card. The moment when I say common payment card, I am not going to talk the generality of the card and which is the commercial functionality of the card. Of course, we will do discuss, but the cards, in my opinion, they are only M2M cards. M2 participating in the M2M communication. On my left hand side, the card that we are seeing is a small yellow. This one is the I am showing with my cursor. This yellow that is called the chip. That is what you see in all bank letters is the chip cards. Okay. Now this card can be used for all transport and amusement, retail, parking, common card. Wherever you have your bank account filled with sufficient money, you take this card, go wherever, and then start making payment, and that payment is made, debited to your account. So this is called the common payment card. Okay. And now you can see many of the smart cities contemplating a common card for transport arrangement. That is for your you need not have separate carry cash for metro train traffic, and then there's railway traffic, and then bus traffic, and then taxi traffic, and so on. So here, that card, what common wallet can be used for making payment for everything. Okay, but for all this particular type of transport arrangement. Okay, and then the top you see what are all the payment services are there. At the bottom, in the middle one, you see that either you can make mobile payment, you can make the card, bank cards, or you can have a common payment card supplied by the company, or through the website, or through your machine. All these services and devices for payments or service delivery are going to be a different vertical component, and you find that the computer is an M2 machine component. WWO, which is appearing in the computer, is a machine component, and the mobile is a machine, and then the card is having this chip inside. It's also one of the machine-to-machine communication. Okay, which is becoming a component of the Internet of Things, because they are going to work with interconnected through internet, and they may be having sensors. And the communication, the chip is another sensor. They are using the communication, which is near field communication. So we will discuss about what is near field communication shortly. And then the bottom blue, you are seeing that there are different payment services are there in the top with green, and the pink that is the middle. What are the services access being provided? At the bottom, you find that there is an integrated common city payment system. Okay, that means different services, different payment systems, and all of them are going to be integrated by the common city payment system. That is the concept of a smart city. It's a part of the concept. This is still so many things are there that I will take you inside. So it is a very good, interesting subject and then concept which you will not find in any of the textbooks. Because this is a I have taken it from the from many of the corporates and other things, so that I'm making a presentation. This is going to be a very good, useful application for you and all. Now, if you take the card, I will just to make a brief introduction about the card, which is one of the MTM device. MTM device, where it is that chipset, intelligent chipset. So we have many may be knowing. If you know also this, okay. Others who are not knowing, I will give you a brief introduction of that. The cards that are having two types. One is a open loop card, another is a closed loop card. Okay. The open loop card, it may be a standard debit card or the prepaid card. Okay. They can use at any retail location. That means and accept credit and debit cards and can be used for receiving direct deposits or making payment. It can be used in any retail location, means that that means the card will work for any location, and the money from any bank can be debited from your account. But if it is a closed loop card, closed loop prepaid card are restricted for use with specific merchants and purchases. Okay, merchant card. Okay. Now, merchant gift cards and then prepaid telephone cards and transit fare cards. Okay, are examples for closed loop cards. I will give an example. Now, the metro train, people from Hyderabad and then Chennai or Calcutta, you will be knowing that metro, they are issuing a card and you pay a wallet. Okay, that you pay the wallet money, and then the money will be the value will be stored in your card. The card will be issued by the metro, and that card can be used only for the metro train transport. It cannot be used for any other services. So this is a classic example of a prepaid card, and it is a closed loop card. And this card cannot be used anywhere except that it is issued for the purpose for which it is meant for. So that is the idea. That is the card, the closed loop card. The open loop cards, if you say the ATM cards, debit cards, there are the open loop cards. You can go to any location for any retail location, and then you can make it pay. So these are the two type of cards. The two type of cards in our parlance, it is going to be used as an entity for MTM communication. Okay, and this has become a part and parcel of that. Little going into this card, the concept of the service. So you have heard of the RuPay card scheme. In this smart city scheme, they use the RuPay card scheme. Okay, and then it is launched by the National Payment Corporation of India (NPCI). Okay, and then RuPay facilitating electronic payment, and then for all banks, and then to all banks and the financial institution. And then here you find that there is a specification for the root key. This is a generic specification called the QSpark specification. I'm now just giving an introduction of all these things because this is going to be useful for you academic specialists for embarking in an effort of making a series of publications on the related subject using MPM communication at a higher level, and also for guiding students for the project. The QSpark is a specification. It is a dual interface open loop specification. I already explained about what is a open loop specification. With an and it has got an option loading multiple payment application in a single card. Okay. And then there is another type of card, which is a national common mobility card. This national mobility card has it can have QSpark specification, or it can have any third-party specification. So that is also there. Okay. And the NCMC card, National Common Mobility Card, is the conceived, okay, for the transport application by Ministry of Housing of Urban Government of India. Okay, so the transport card enable the user to pay for travel, then you see, and these NCMC card, NHA, National Highway Authority, will all go for toll booths, and you have heard now NHA Authority, you cannot wait for longer time and making a cash payment and then getting a receipt. So if you travel in a car, this prepaid card, the NCMC card issued by the government of India, can be used for travel. And then toll duties. Toll duties means what? When the car goes, and then if you simply show the card, and then it will debit your account, and then make an entry, so that wherever you go in that particular route, show the card, and you are already paid, they will allow you. Just like that, it reduces the toll tax is debited in your account, and then your waiting time on the toll on the national highway is reduced to a greater extent. And this card can be used for travel, toll duties, retail shopping, and also used for withdrawing of money. So, and it has got a specification, more than one service operator can say what are the different specification the program. In the series smart city, for this one, the RuPay payment application has got different service components. Okay, and then in the chip, they have got a specification what are all the payment services are going to be programmed. And then it has got a EMV, the chip, the electronics built in the particular card, that is called the EMV chip. And it has got a ISO IC specifications also. Okay, now this common payment card has got three verticals. One is the transit, then service, and then multi-level wallet. Okay, the transit card has got a facility for cashless ticketing, and then implementation of various operator-specific program. And the service card, find that okay, it can be done for independent service operation in a terminal. Okay, and it also has a closed, open, and semi-loop operator specific. So that is possible. It can have a closed loop operation. It can also have open loop operation. Multi-wallet, so it has got a allow certain. It has got a global this one as well as a local service. Okay, so global means it is open, and then local means it can be even closed loop. Okay, so it can have a transaction like that. So these are different service level operations. So of course, I just want to make an exposure only. I am not going deeper into these features. If there is a time now, I'm going to share this with this one. You can go deeper into what are the different specification on the speech CPC features, how you can alter, make, and then make an enhanced specification either by research or by academic pursuit. Okay. And then we go to the different type of vertical financial institution. All these are Am I audible to all of you? Hello?
Audible, sir. Some disturbance on the participant side, sir. I muted them.
Okay, somebody knows, Deepa says that, okay, no audio, now she says okay. Right. All of you are comfortable up to this point? The session, you are able to have any learning difficulties? All of you are comfortable up to this point? Any learning difficulties are there?
Yes, sir.
Any learning?
Yes, sir.
Dikshit has told that comfortable.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good. Good. Now you see the card. Then the card will have payment interfaces. There will be devices. There will be application. Then utility payment interfaces for electricity and other thing. There will be transport and then transit interfaces, offline transaction interfaces, online transaction interfaces. Then parking payment interfaces. I'm talking about the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 online payment interfaces for gateway services. Okay, social interfaces. There is Aadhaar linked payments and asset identification, property tax and all. So in the smart city, even the municipalities and other things, property tax for and then rental for shops and other things, they also will be integrated. Okay, and then e-government services. All these payment services, it will be having a central payment processing and validation infrastructure. So all these payment services, you have to understand the technological point of view. They are MPM communication. The interface is maybe your phone interface, maybe POS, point of sales machines, or maybe the computers, or maybe any other type of interfaces which is coming in the future. Okay, so the card and then wallet, host and settlement system will be centralized, and that will form part of the smart city. And whatever you are seeing here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, up to 8, 8 interfaces and payment interfaces, they are all individual verticals having their own IoT network devices, and they will have these facilities built over there through the application, and they will be connected to the common center. Okay, ICMOC. That's what I will explain. Okay, so now technically these services are going to be integrated. Now we will see further. So this NCMC card I already given. Because only point I want to explain here is EMV chip technology. EMV chip technology. See, if you see the multi-level card in the under 4 has got a QSpark specification, and then the standard payment, there's EMV based contact and then contactless payment. Okay, here I want to just to give you two information. One is EMV chip technology. EMV chip technology is an embedded electronic information on the chip card, and now all the banks are converted into EMV chip technology. Many of you have old debit and then credit cards, and they will be converted and then they have been issued to you. They are having chip and they are foolproof. Okay, but if there is a shoulder engineering and somebody snips your pin, that the chip cannot be made responsible. That point you have to make it clear. If the chip technology is more secure, in the sense that your social engineering and then when you have to the pin and other thing, you have to be careful. Yesterday I told cloning. When in the ATM machine, if the cloning is there, you should not insert your card. Okay. So these are all the points you have to take care of. EMV, okay, it is a Europay, MasterCard and Visa. Europay, MasterCard. See, it is developed technology and it is a chip-based card. Okay, it has got enhanced safety features. Okay, and this card is preventing skimming and then cloning. Okay, you have to understand here that skimming. Yesterday I was giving the idea. Skimming means that you are without your knowledge taking all your PIN information in the card, PIN and then bank account and other thing. Cloning is creating a card. Okay, cloning means skimming is stealing the data from your card. Cloning is producing a new card which looks like your own card. That means using that cloned card, I can do anything. I can simply wipe off your account within no time. So that's the point. And then I want to make a mention here. Now your SIM card also can be cloned. There is, I think, I can talk length and breadth and SIM cloning. This is, methodologies where the mobile communication thieves are now embarking. Okay, so because it is cloning, I also want to give that idea. That means it is possible technologically to produce a SIM card very identical to your second, provided if I know the contents of your SIM card. So that is why there are, whenever you are using mobile phone, you have to be all the more careful, and then you cannot let others to log in or to SMS, unknown SMS, you should not open out and see, unknown mails, you should not open out and then see, WhatsApp, unknown WhatsApp, you should not, because otherwise they will come and land on your phone and try to steal your same content, and then that SIM card and the people are there. Even though it is very difficult, sometimes they are doing. Okay, so this is SIM cloning. So the card skimming and then card cloning is altogether is a different subject. A lot of materials and then theory is there on that. Okay, so in this the common mobility card is versatile, and then it has got all transit facilities are what the transit facilities, cashless and then contactless transaction. Okay, for ticketing across various transit operators. Any operator, any transport operators, transit, you can make use of this. Okay, and it uses public key infrastructure because and then symmetric key mechanism. The security is done. Okay, public key infrastructure. Yesterday I was telling public key infrastructure because the network, all the transit, when you take the car, the network is they are using the NFC, near field communication. I will come to that in another slide. Near field communication is coming. So there you get a bandwidth, and you are very near, the car is very near to the machine, and then the entire data will be transmitted within, say, less than 500 milliseconds. Okay, so the data can be transmitted less than 500 milliseconds. You just imagine, entire content of your car can be transmitted to the fellow who try to get interested in your information. Then you have the service area. Then you have the multi-level wallet using the QSpark specification. Okay, it can be used, multi-level means it can be used open or the close, the global or the local. Okay, standard payment, that is EMI based card. Okay, here also contact based card and then contactless cards. Okay. So now you are seeing here is a point of sale terminal. It is a dual scheme. Whatever in point of sale the transaction is made to you, it is visible to you also. Okay, the common payment control system. What is the communication? Okay, now so far we have discussed about the common payment control system, and then what are the various facilities are there? What are the different verticals are there? What is the MPM machines? What is the machine that we are using? And then the card used in the machine. So all these things we have studied. Now, how the communication is taking place between this between this MTM communication, which is forming part of the smart city center. Okay, now let us start from the point in the top. You also just follow my cursor, and card issuing unit. The issuing unit prints the card with the CW chip, and then it is customized, and then the card is now given to you. Okay. Now, when the card is going to be used on the payment terminal, the card, let us say I purchase the card from the card issuing unit, and then all of you please follow my cursor and showing the payment terminal, point of sale terminal. I'm going there and then using my card, contact or contactless. Now I am making a payment. Okay, now what happens? Now it goes to the CPC clearing and management system. I have to make a debit in my account and I have to make a credit to the seller. And now this gets online, the bank or the NPC, National Payment Corporation of India. And then this in the bank in turn gets connected to the buyer's bank and also the seller's bank. It takes the credentials from you, and if it is a card, the card it is available. The moment you type the PIN number, then the PIN number is taken as authentication. Then it makes a debit in the buyer's account, makes a credit in the credit's account. Then the CPC clearance management system make an entry into the control center, ISOMC master integration center, and then that is now a receipt is generated from this payment terminal, and before the card is removed from the back and the processing is done, and all the information are monitored by the common control center, command and then control center. So this is how the communication is taking place between your card and which is inserted in the payment terminal. Maybe it is your mobile phone. Maybe it is your mobile phone, or it may be your point of sale terminal, or any other device which is now working as a end device, which is at the end device of the particular MPM communication center. And there are so many events or entities are connected. The arrow marks are these things are all called communication. The communication may be different type of communication between them. Between the card, the payment terminal, near field communication, the bag and the clearing center may be a communication between the service provider, maybe through web communication, maybe a mobile communication. Okay, like that it will be there. We will not, when we go and analyze it, different communication terminals will be used, and the network will work beautifully. All these things will be happening within less than 500 milliseconds. Okay, now here we are seeing shall I proceed, please?
Your voice is muted, sir.
Hello, shall I proceed, please? Shall I proceed, please? Okay. Okay. Sanjun Nisha has told proceed. I do. Thank you. Right. Now, in this slide, you are seeing the C3 type of IoT. I will now. IoT is a wonderful this one concept, and it has got a very good future for doing research and all. Okay, so I will just make some mentions on that. Okay, and now you see there are three on my green on my left card NFC supporting terminal near field communication. So that card is being used for bus transport. And there is a smart cycling is there. Smart cycling, you know, some cycles will be parked, owned by the metro, and you can go show your card. For that duration, the amount will be debited, and then you can use the park cycle anywhere. And from GPS, your cycle will be monitored. So that type of thing is available. And then e-rickshaw is there, and then e-challenge. And then on the red side, if you see, and NFC mobile also has got a near field communication. You can use mobile also for making payment, and then in the RuPay and all they are making payment, you know, so like that. And then card issuance and top up center. Suppose your wallet you want to recharge, then that's stored. And then on the right hand side, blue you are seeing the banks. So all of them have to be integrated. So one side IoT environment, another side is the cloud, another side is the, you see the all the IoT applications are there. So they have to be integrated. So the set of communication protocol, okay, it is communication, how it is going to be done. I will discuss the C3 in the coming slides. So before that, I'll just give just some points on this NFC. The near field communication. Near field communication. Yesterday I was telling you, now you have to use a magnetic pouch for your car, and then if your car is going to be NFC near field communication type, and if you are keeping, the ladies are keeping the card in your handbag and holding in your shoulder, anybody coming nearer to you, they can fetch all your information from your car by using the near field communication. So so you have to provide a shield. The NFC card is so more dangerous. If at all anybody is having, you have to immediately change that. You have to provide a electromagnetic shield, the pouch you have to use it. Because the near field communication, and it is between two electronic devices, and the distance is 4 centimeters or less. It is almost very near, okay, very near, 4 centimeters this one. So it provides, NFC is providing very low speed communication connection with a very simple setup. That means it is as good as a child comes before me, nearer to me, I laugh immediately, the child laughs. That's a simple setup, finish. Okay. It is just as good as two lovers and meet, and immediately they smile to each other less than 500 milliseconds time. The job is done. Afterwards, you cannot repent. So that is the situation here. If the card is shown, the NFC card, and it is exposed to somebody else, he is also show he has got a clone and then shows that nearer to you, the entire content can be swapped, provided if that fellow is more intelligent enough. So NFC offers so low speed communication, but it is good because heavy content immediately the payment and other things can be done using the, because no touching is required. Okay, NFC here we are using the principle inductive coupling. You know, when a current is flowing through a conductor, there is the Fleming's left hand thumb rule in physics. You would have said, you know, this one. Okay, there, you know, during the direction of flow of this electricity, there will be a current, then voltage, and then there will be electromagnetic the force. Okay, so this phenomenon we call it the inductive coupling, and this there will be an antenna in your EME chip, which has got the NFC communication. That another one, your card also will have a small antenna, but that is not visible. The chip is very tiny. And then the other one fellow who is showing this one, this is also as an antenna. If both the antennas are coming together, the inductive, the inductance produced in my card and the inductance produced in your card, which is nearer to mine, okay, they will cut each other, and then there will be a flow of current between these two directions on air. Okay, there will be a flow of electromagnetic force, and then this NFC enabled device so users the 13.56 megahertz frequency for communication, and this is the unlicensed radio frequency. Okay, unlicensed radio frequency, that is the interface, and at a data rate of 106 to 424 kilobits. 106 to 424 kilobits using the frequency of 13.4 as a carrier, and using this inductive coupling between these two things, then near field communication taking place, and the information is passed with less than 500 milliseconds. This is the communication philosophy. This is being used here in the near field communication in all the cards. So one point is that you have to be careful. That is one point. Another point is a fantastic mechanism that is the order of the day in the future, and it is going to be very useful to you. Now components, vertical components, we have already discussed. Traffic components, I already told you. Smart tracking components. Okay, tracking is the vehicle management, solid waste management tracking, municipal vehicle tracking. Okay, fare collection tracking, passenger information tracking. So all these things are coming. Okay, and then smart parking. That means where very big city, if we go, we don't know where the parking slot is available. We'll be wasting your time by rounding and round. And immediately it will say exact location where the parking slot is available. Then surveillance and smart response. That means if Tufan, that is cyclone, is coming, very precisely the response is taken from meteorological department, and it is pumped into one of the components of the smart city, and then all the stakeholders have been informed instantaneously. So that is the smart response. Then ICOMC, that is command control system and it has got a ERP platform, then geographical information system, GIS integration, that's one, and then ICOMC interfaces are there. Then others, you have fiber optic network, Wi-Fi network, and then smart poles. What is smart pole? That is, in all electricity poles are made as smart, and then depending upon the sunshine, and the light will get switched on automatically. If there is no sunshine, the light will be on, and if there is little sunshine, the luminous value of the bulb also can be modified. And then that is a smart pole. Okay, the concept of smart pole. And then smart education, then environmental monitoring. Okay, so all these things existing, and then future integration. Okay, existing systems. Suppose before smart city is coming, what are the existing systems are available? Surveillance and whatever systems are available, SCADA project system in the electricity, they also can be integrated. So we require a master system integrated component. It is maybe it is a software and then hardware both. And then there are the stockholders, different departments are there. So I don't want to make a police, then municipal corporation, health and so on, home department, all these things. So all the department will get contact. They will become party to this smart city. Now, so one by one, quickly I will explain about the concepts and where our the theory is now fitting in, whatever we have studied so far. One is the smart traffic concept. Okay, so here traffic signals, each of the traffic signals are having sensors and they have a camera. Okay, the sensors finds out how many vehicles have moved, at what distance they are moving, whether they are violating the signal. Then surveillance is that whether traffic violation is there, then they can capture the camera. The violation detection system, all these things will be there. Now, center it will get repeated. Okay, the center component will get repeated for all these concepts. Integration, there is a traffic management cell, then back-end processing. When coming down, these violations or the output of these traffic signal can be seen in the web and also can be seen in the mobile of the traffic policeman or the stakeholder responsible for managing the smart city concept. And then the output is to given to the police commissioner, then message signs or the violators have to be issued with each alarm. So all these things are managed. So this is the concept of this one. Here you find that sensors and camera, they are the sensors are the device, cameras are the M2 machines, traffic signals in which the sensors and cameras are embedded, and they form the network through this signaling system, surveillance system, and traffic violation system. And these web and application, they are all the actuators. In the beginning, I was telling you sensors and actuators. So they give a report and what action to be taken for that. The center one is the processing. Now, that is what I have explained is now given here. Red light, zebra crossing, free lap, illegal parking. Okay, how these signals are retrieved. Okay, managed, and then the right hand side that how announcements are made and what are the agencies in the traffic. And I was talking about the police, municipal corporation, the NHA, and then subsystem. How that means when you make an e-challan, make a fine, then that has to go to the particular bank and then go to the account of the police. So you have a separate system for that. And then you want to have a connectivity for all the bill, then you should have separate subsystems with that. Like that, the IT enabled systems with that. So they are all the subsystems, they are all individual verticals. That's what you have to understand. So the green arrow both sides, they are different vertical. These multi-agency users, they are different user, that's outputs. Okay. So these verticals are getting integrated. This is the main concept of a smart city. So how the integration is done? They use their own applications. So transit. Transit, you see that we were telling, transit means that the same car can be used in the tracking the bus, then they can use in the rickshaw, and then a cycle, smart cycle systems, private bicycle system, and then so how these systems are displayed. Okay, so same way here, output is a web, and then payment system will be commonly integrated. So this is the smart transit concept. Okay, in the transit concept, we find how the signaling and other informations are connected. You find here on the left-hand side, GPS is connected, and then electronic tolling machines, ticketing machines is connected for the buses, so they are connected. And then on the right-hand side, IVR system is there. That means when your bus is coming, transit on those integrated voice response system is there. Then tracking applications. So if somebody is violated, how to track them and the geographical information system using this GPS satellite. So they are there, and then they are to be connected to the data center, and some are connected on the wired network. Say the ICMC, or they are connected to the wired network, and then the bus ATM tickets, electronic ticket machines are connected through mobile network. So you find here near the GPS, they are connected to the electronic mobile network, and you find that verticals, the municipal bus and then ambulance and fire truck and police van, solid vehicle, best management vehicles, then that water tankers, all of them are connected through these sensor, wireless sensor IoT devices to this smart transit network, and they are fitted into the smart tracking architecture, and the central command is managing them. Here, a very typical example, you find that there are devices, there are GPS devices on the buses to locate where they have come, and also to find out at what exact location they will come using the Q Spark concept I explained already. Identifying the distance, computing the distance and the time at which they will exactly arrive. Okay, so this is the smart transit. Then parking. So all of you know that sensors are available. The moment buses, the cars are entering the parking slot, there is a pressure sensor. When the pressure applied, and then the sensor detects as one vehicle has gone inside, and there is a camera that finds out your number and other thing. If the parking slot has got a 100 vehicle, if the 99 is already there, the 100th one is entered, then they will say parking slot is full. So this is the concept, and it will also tell that when you are away, okay, and it will find out where are all the off-street parking, where are available parking. Okay, that will tell from the GPS receivers, and you will be able to go to that particular location. Then tell you that your parking is available. So in this parking concept, one is the payment for parking. First is on the right hand side, and it is rounded. Even on the street lights, I told you poles are smart poles. The pole you have the cameras, and on the road, you can put the camera on the sensors on the poles, and then find out the cars and the parking lots. It's a very beautiful idea. And then find out the location at which the parking slots are available. If the vehicle is coming and different in the particular location, the parking is available. The entry and exit, you can have a camera and then count them. And then after telling this is the data is collected. So this is a parking. Then smart response, when you come to fast response, there are weather sensors in the top, pink color, environment sensor, and then there are CCTV. And there are disaster management, meteorological department, ambulance service, they are connected. So when weather sensor get information and meteorological information, it goes, and then they predict intelligent, it is integrated, and then they predict and inform through web and then application. They inform what is the weather the disaster information, and then emergency sensor report, and then it triggers the physical layer and the physical and then citizen back, and they provide all the information. This is the smart, and you can see the entity diagram here. and emergency callback, and then meteorological antenna, there is wireless, natural disaster site, and then variable message signboard, what that is in the seashore and other thing. Strong winds, okay, tomorrow, don't come here. And then emergency callback, if there is an accident, immediately push the button and it goes to the command control center, and then they inform the ambulance. Ambulance sends the information, and then immediately they know the direction and goes and then picks up the patient who got an accident. And then police also is informed, and then they are to move. This is a very good diagram for smart diagram. Here you find that there are entities, okay, and sensors are there, MTM devices are there at every event. The camera, and other devices have been connected. Okay. Emergency call box is the button, that is there is a camera. Okay, here you find that in the smart city system, they put the camera, fixed camera, emergency call box, that means digital kiosk. What is a digital kiosk? There is a nearby system, there is an accident, somebody even on the road, they can press the button, that is a MPM device. Immediately it will go to the command call center, then latitude and longitude where the location accident has happened, immediately they will get contact, and it will immediately send information to police and then ambulance, and action will be taken. It's a very beautiful arrangement for the smart response. Smart response components for the purpose of management, only for purpose of glass. So there is a mobile, that is a police, and you got a say fire service, then you got an ambulance, then mobile team, they will be dispatched, and then call center, they provide, they take the call, and then emergency call, they inform the intelligent city operations and then management center. And then for all these, now we have seen the device network, there is a M2M domain, M2M domain, and then application domain. Now we will see the communication domain for this smart city network. And in the case of a smart pole, you have a access point for Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi network, it works on the 2.4 gigahertz, 802.11 IEEE standard. And you see here, you follow my cursor on this. The access point is hung on the pole, and it provides here, say, for 100 meters, even 1 kilometer. Nowadays, coverage is there. So any car fetching that wireless, this one, having this one, you can identify where smart parking is available, the tourist point is available, value-added service. You go nearer to the pole and then say you want to put petrol or check it, this one, pressure that immediately says such and such a location. You have the petrol bank. Okay, so where the emergency services are available. Now here you find end devices are here, MPM devices. The link is provided by Wi-Fi, and so what we require is, here is the concept is the pole becomes smart. Not only the lighting, so not only the lighting has been made smart, and also the area has been made smart by means of the Wi-Fi access network. The access point, okay, it may on the backhaul is a 5 gigahertz backhaul, and the access point works on the 2.4 gigahertz. Okay, and then the communication network backhaul, I told you, is a optical fiber. Okay, they have used the optical fiber network for providing the backhaul network. You know that optical fiber network works on total internal deflection method, and then one light ray carries a terabits of the data that we call as a lambda. Okay, here the signals, the electrical signals will be converted into light signals. The light signal will be transmitted on the fiber core, and it will transmits from one point to another point at the speed of light using the concept of total internal reflection. Okay, at the other hand, receiving end, the light signals are converted into electrical signals and then taken further for processing. Okay, this is the intelligent city operations and then management center. Intelligent city operations and management center. Okay, now consolidated. How all the verticals are getting consolidated. Okay, now you find that this ICMOC is being connected to citizens using the Wi-Fi, they can connect and then get an IVRS response. And then the top disaster recovery, they get connected to the disaster recovery center. Then they got the primary data. We are going to the big data, all the places, all the verticals now we have seen a concept, smart traffic, smart transit, all these things, the data will start flowing here. Okay. And then plug-in services, okay, parking services, then building management services, IoT enabled sensor, that is smart dustbin. Now, suppose now there is a sensor fitted on the dustbin. This you would have given to many of your students as project, IoT project for the smart dustbin. At the top of it, there will be a camera or a laser detector, and it is connected to the IoT network, wireless sensor network. When the bin becomes full and it gives information to the utility manager that the bin is fully come under credit. Immediately that is sent to the solid waste management center, and the vehicle which manages that area, they get a response, intimation, and then they know, they get these latitude, longitude, location information of the location where the dustbin is located. The lorry goes there and then get it cleared. Once it cleared, the ICMC center, the utility gets information, the waste bin has been cleared. And like that, water. Okay. And like that, there are different department, IT enabled utilities, and then there are plug-in services. They are connected to ICMOC. Okay. And also here at the bottom, you see traffic management services, parking services, payment card services, transit operator services, emergency response services, solid waste management services, surveillance services. Okay. All these things, whatever we have seen so far, different vertical networks, they are now connected to ICMC, Intelligent City Operation Management Center. Okay. Now they will, what they are doing, all the information will flow through the big data server. Okay, and they got a GIS platform, disaster recovery center is connected, and the cloud hosting. Okay, from other department, whatever the existing utilities, networks, they also will be connected. That means citizen also will be connected. E-governance also will be connected. Everything will be connected to the ICMC, that is Intelligent City Operation Management Center. That means one single point manages all utilities, and where already smartness is provided to all the verticals. In addition to that, the smartness is built into the ICMC, which manages the inter-cross operations. That means an accident happened, one is information has to the police, that data has to be recorded, police people has to come. This is one vertical. Another is ambulance service, you have to go, that ambulance vertical, so they have to send the ambulance, and that the moment ambulance it goes, then information has to go to the hospital, nearest hospital where the ambulance is likely to come, and they have to keep the bed ready, and they have to give, this is a crisis management, and accident relief operation people should be ready, and the bed has to be ready. Then all these three things have to be informed to the say municipal controller, whoever is going to manage this type of operation. That means there are three articles in the case of this, say, three verticals in this case of accident, and these three verticals have to work interdepartmentally, and also say if they want to work interdepartmentally, there must be a commonality. That commonality is the common management center. Sometimes in some cities they call it common control center, CCC. And here in this case they call it as Intelligent City Operations and the Management Center. Okay, there I don't know whether you have got a scene or not. Very big hall will be there. I will show that one before that. There will be a very big hall. Okay, you can see that Intelligent City Operations and Management Center. There is a very big hall you find, and this one I am showing in the cursor. This is called the video wall. Video wall. So much a big video. The entire operation are shown in the screen, and the people from different verticals they are there. They will be managing that one in their own computer, and they will be able to see where and what has happened, in which vertical has happened. It is very, very beautiful. If you have a chance in your location, okay, it is better you go and see such a beautiful this one. So this is called the common ICMC. This is called the video wall. I just to show you the size of the video wall. Okay. See video wall now. You see here. It is having a 15 into 4 panels. That means the one panel means it is around 10 by 10. 10 by 10. Like that, there will be 15 panels. That's enormous. Because you have to cover so many things, And then there will be a video wall, and then there will be audio video systems, publicator system, and there will be network electronic, then temperature control sensor. So 24/7 they will operate. Okay. Now, next point is now we are to, so far we are going on hearing the C power 3, okay, C3 or C power 3. Okay. So one is the C3 you are seeing here, and that is doing the central control. See, the so far I think somewhere you have heard the with here smart response to see the C3. That is a central processing and the control center. So now that I'm going to explain here. Okay, C3. What the C3 is doing? Okay. So there are 3 domains: knowledge domain, information domain, and then data domain. Data is the smallest entries, data which is every vertical, smart parking, and then wallet, that is your chip card. Those are small information. They are all computed and then set of data. Okay, they have got a relation. They become formation. So you should understand the meaning of data, information, and knowledge. Okay, so the smallest entity data has got a value. When they are arranged with respect to relation to each other, they become information. So the combination of the information and then experience that becomes a knowledge. Okay. Data means, let us say, you get the information regarding sunlight. Okay, that is a data. Okay, now you get a data at different intervals. That means they have a different information. Lumens at a particular time. 9 o'clock, what is the lumen? And evening 5 o'clock, what is the lumen? That is the power intensity. And then 9:10, what is the power intensity? 9:10, 9:20, what is the power? They are now related to each other with respect to lumen. They are information. Now, when 9:30, that is evening 5:30, if the lumen is 0, that means it gives you an information, that is a knowledge based on experience. That means night has set in, and the bulb has to be switched on. Okay, so this is the meaning of data, information, and the knowledge. First information, what I am getting is the human information. That is the data, it's only value. Then sets of data I am getting one after the other. Then they got a relationship. That means the lumen is getting either increasing or decreasing based on the sunlight available. Then that becomes information. And then you are interpreting the value of the information. Then that becomes knowledge. So these are all the 3 C's. Now knowledge is a knowledge where the municipal corporation has got the knowledge what to do. Okay, and then when virus is stuck in, what to do, whether they have to be quarantined or not. That means the temperature information, people alighting from the airport, 5 people are getting a more high temperature. That means that is the data. 5 people are getting set of data. That data goes to the municipal corporation. That information that information is going, and then knowledge comes in. That means if 5 people are having continuously that high temperature, then probably there is a virus. Then they have to go to quarantine. That is the knowledge. Okay. So that is how data, the ping, that is orange physical devices. It is coming from sensor. It is coming from POS device terminals. Okay, and then that data goes as an information via data analytics to the application. That may be from the card, or maybe due to service request, or maybe due to the service delivery. The physical devices are connected to the public. The public, they make a service request, and then public makes a service request, and then devices provide a service delivery, maybe through the application or through the card. Okay, and then that information is there, and that is taken through data analytics, and that is analyzed, and then that knowledge is put into that. The knowledge is made to act. So this is called three entities called C3. Okay, now the IoT the C3 IoT provides it provides a full stack of IoT development platform. So in the cloud management, many of you who are in the computer science area who have studied as PaaS and then SaaS. That means platform as service, and then software as service. So what is the cloud computing? So now I have to purchase a computer for my house, and then we want to have it connected to the internet. I have to spend money about 20,000. And then if I want to develop an application, I have to spend some time and money. And I want to purchase Windows, I have to spend money. So I don't want to do that. What I will do now, I will go to a cloud provider. I will tell him now, okay, you provide me the computer and you provide me the operating system. You provide me the application software. You nominally charge. Suppose if I want to purchase a computer and then provide a e-learning session, this one, I have to pay initially some 25 to 30,000 rupees. Suppose if I go to a vendor who provides a cloud, they'll simply pay 1,000 rupees. Okay, he provides a screen. Okay, and then the moment you connect it to the network, okay, to this network, he provides the internet. Then he offers this operating system on higher basis, also provides an application on higher basis. Then immediately I make use of that. Okay, when I take the software, Windows and other things as higher, that is a software as service. The hardware platform now, when I take it, it is a platform as service. So now the C3 IoT environment, okay, it is a full stack of IoT development platform. Okay, then we provide PaaS, platform as service. It provides a rapid design development. Okay, for big data applications, for predictive analysis and so on. And then it also provides a SaaS, okay, SaaS, turnkey IoT application. That means for every smart city, I will not have different applications. I can hire those applications from C3 IoT. Okay, fraud detection, sensor network, supply chain automation, invoice planning. So I can have a turnkey supply application SaaS. This is software as a service. So C3 provides IoT. That means customer can use a pre-built C3 IoT application. That means the pre-built C3 IoT application means I go to the retail shop, ready-made shop, instead of taking how much is my measurement for my pant and then shirt, he says 2 meter and then 1.5 meter. Then going to the tailor, I don't know how nicely he will stitch my thing. Instead, I do one thing. I just go to ready-made and then say ready-made shirt and what is my size. Simply, it is a pre-built. It's like a pre-built. I just purchase and then come. So I'm now using it. Otherwise, suppose now I want to act in a drama. Simply go there. They provide as a service dresses. If I want to have a like a king, have a just a dress like a king. It is available on hire. That is a service on hire. That is a platform as service. Acting platform as a service. Pass. It is also available. So what I do, I go there, get it at hire, then go and act in the drama, then give back the dress. There it is like this C3 IoT. It is a pre-built CO3 customers can use, and then smart city center they are using these from third-party vendors and adapt these applications. Adapting these applications means suppose now I purchase this one ready-made shirt and my pant is little longer. Then immediately what I do, I simply cut the extra length and then restitch, and they do it free and then give me. So like that here I do adapt to those applications using the platform toolset. Yeah, and then I can also build custom applications and service. So this is called C3 IoT, where they provide pre-built application, platform of service, as, and then software service applications, and this is called C3. Now, some more insight, there is a big data, there is a cloud computing, and there is artificial intelligence, and then machine learning, and the internet thing. So these are the shopping mall, and then customized application. I go and make use of all these things, and then build this C3. What is that? The digital information available in terms of big data, and then through Internet of Things it is coming. They are getting processed through cloud computing, and I also use the machine learning. In the C3 type IoT system, okay. So there is a data. There are three concepts here. Say one is application, another is the data lake, and then C3 IoT platform. Data lake is the data. It is just like a lake. Where a lake water is there, whether the water is good or bad, and then all the things water will be there fully. Whenever water flows from anywhere, it is just like taking. Here, like that, in the data layer, there may be data wanted, there may be data unwanted, there may be what data relevant, there may be data irrelevant. Okay, all coming flowing through the IoT network, integrated through this smart city network. Then they will put into the data bank that is called data lake. So the C3 has got an IoT platform, it has got a data lake, and then it has got a C3 application. You use the PaaS, you use the SaaS, okay, and then built in. Okay, so that is how it is being done. You are now seeing the C3 IoT. There will be a data engineer, data scientist, business analyst, and then M2M. Ultimately, what you are going to come is this M2M IoT. And then what are the type of tools being used in the IoT suite, starting from Hadoop, and then stream processing, data integration, data connected. Okay, all these things, and then security agent, APIs. So machine learning framework, everything is there. So this is a very big ocean. What I want to tell you is C3 IoT. Okay, it's a very big, interesting topic, and then it allows all the programs and algorithms and data structures, which is written in different languages with a different computational model. Okay, and so that this C3 type system allows all of them to interoperate. That means I don't know what is down underlying models. I don't have the knowledge of the underlying physical data model, data federation, storage model, interrelationship, dependencies, binding. I don't know anything of the software and the hardware integrated in the vertical, and they are getting into different vertical, getting integrated into horizontal. I don't know anything, but the C3 type system is able to interoperate without any knowledge about the data which is underlying, because I am able to do with the different the assumptions made in the underlying. We can make different assumptions and then different computation model and then do. So there is a new area, what is called the C3 type system. So in this C3 type system, data is flowing from different modules: busware collection terminal, card collection terminal, CCTV, fleet tracking, and then traffic management, and then tracking sensor. So these are all different modeling is there, modules are there. So the sitting over that and the software layer, and the C3 is not knowing what is the underlying model, but it is able to do integrate sitting over that. All these have algorithm data structures and the different languages, and they can make different assumptions about the underlying infrastructure without the knowledge of the data models and storage models which is built in inside. So that is the concept of IoT. And data is flowing from the ABD is the actual build diagram. That is the component. Once everything is built in, that's called the actual build diagram. So on these different utilities, the data flow is coming to CO3. That is smart meter, air quality, bins, etc. Data is flowing to CO3. And now you see this is the video. This is the video wall, and then this is the integrated command control system, ISO, and all these utilities are available here. Okay, all the different vertical. Their verticals are coming. C3 is there. This is the underlying architecture, and this C3 is not knowing this all of them are connected to the smart city center that is implemented in the Bhubaneswar. Okay. So this is how this is physical ecosystem is the card and other things. The digital ecosystem is the GIS mapping, parking, smart parking, and other things. So that difference is there. What is physical and then what is digital. So in the smart city, the kiosk and store and all they are connected. They are called physical, and all digital is the web and an application. They are the web. There is a digital ecosystem. Okay. So thank you very much, and I had a very nice time with all of you. And then now I have stitched all the components and then cooked a meal, and then the meal is this. I think is a good test for you. And this is one of the practical case study of IoT and then MTM communication, and that is the output is the smart city. Thank you very much. And then if there are any questions, you can ask. Now the time is 12:57, and I hope I have finished in time.
No problem, sir. It is on time only.
Okay. And Suresh has asked for smart city in Bhubaneswar. It is implemented. It is in the last stage of implementation. Okay. Education institution also can take part in that. Suresh has asked a question.
Sir, I think no more questions, sir. Only Suresh has asked the question, sir.
Always Suresh only is asking questions. Okay. Always. Okay. How are you? Whether all of you are happy? All of you are having any questions? Before Madhivanan is switching me off this session. Okay. It is 13:02. Anybody can just. What about the audience? That is the participants. All of you are happy? You want anything? Any questions? Suresh has told good presentation. Okay. COVID tracking, a lot of ideas are there. Aishwarya has started COVID tracking. We can talk length and breadth. Now, COVID tracking is a wonderful IoT. Without IoT, COVID would not have been managed in India.
Yes, sir, because it is China has come up with a system now, sir. So I just wanted to know like how we can implement this in a smart city. This is Vakula Rani from Bangalore.
Yes, yes. Arogya Setu is a classical example for that. And then the thermal scanning and all this, I think COVID management is very good.
This is
okay. And,
sir, this is from Vakula Rani, sir, from Bangalore.
Okay.
Sir, Aishwarya Jakka is mine only because I have logged in through my laptop. Sir, what are the things we can consider for COVID tracking, sir, for through IoT technology?
No. What is that? Repeat the question. I don't hear.
For COVID tracking, how the IoT technology can help?
COVID tracking. Okay. See, COVID tracking, there are one classical example is the Arogya Setu. Okay, that mobile application.
Yeah, that app, yeah.
Okay, that is one thing. Okay, that is one thing.
So and that is only from the mobile, mobile tracking, no, sir. It is
another concept is now thermal scanning they are doing. Okay, then you can have an idea of in the thermal scanning. You can have a sensor capture the thermal, that is information already captured in the thermal sensor. Through IoT device, you can capture that and then capture the phone information, and from that they are coming another thing. Can have an IoT network connected to a main network, and then track and then put it in a database, and then track them. How many of them have got a previous one? I will give you a very good example from your laptop. Your Kerala, what they say, one good IoT tracking they have done is that one person is from one state is crossing the boundary. They are taking the details. Okay.
Yes,
through
it
the
is
IoT
updating the system, sir. Yes, it is updating the tracking. Yeah.
Yes, they are taking, and then when immediately they are informing the hospital where he is likely to come to keep the bed ready. They are informing his home house and then to sanitize and then keep and when this is ready. And then when he crosses every district, they are checking and then find out what is the status of his health, whether the temperature is increased or nothing. And that is posted to the back-end processing. And all these things they are doing. You know? This is a very good, nice, and I seen that many people have appreciated this. And that is one of the reasons where Kerala has controlled COVID in a very efficient way. That means the moment one person is entering, till he is getting cured, he is tracked. And that is through IoT only.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically through the image tracking, no, sir, that one?
That, no, that one is what are the devices they do for checking. One is first is your the thermal scanners. Another is travel history, which is being loaded in this one. Another is test report. Suppose now your swab is getting tested. The moment you say you are high fever, swab has to be taken. So when they are taking swab, their tester, the information is loaded in the database. The test report is loaded in the database. When a test report is loaded in the database, it is flowing to the hospital. The moment you are traveling towards the hospital, your test report is ready, your temperature report is ready. The moment immediately you are going, the previous history also is taken. That intelligent knowledge-based network will provide you whether he has a previous COVID history, whether he has an immunity or not, what are his pre-morbidities. Okay, all these things are taken and then he is given treatment. And when it is cured, and that entire history is taken and it is posted to further analysis. That analysis is taken. What is the age? Whether he got cured because of with the comorbidity or no morbidity. The statistical analysis is done, and that is being computed. So that way, the COVID tracking can be done very, very efficiently. And then COVID tracking cannot be done without any IoT interface. IoT is very much in place, and it does a very good role in this IoT management. And that is why, more specifically in Kerala and more specifically India with respect to the rest of the world, our doubling time, I tell you, from 100 to 10,000, India it is 64 days. Whereas China and other places it is 10 days, 15 days and all. So the doubling has been reduced to 64 days. That is because of the, not only I cannot say that there is a very good clinical management, but also and then management of the disease. Management of the disease, unless there is a very good communication networking, it is not possible. So IoT plays a very important role.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Participants, I think
Okay.
there is an announcement from the coordinator. So I'll just connect him. Just please be waited.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Sanana sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir,
Deshpande,
for the last 3 weeks.
Deshpande asked one question. Those who are stamped
Okay.
to quarantine can based tracking will be helpful. Definitely, it will be helpful. If they are quarantined, you can put a sensor on their body and then track. Okay, you can develop a good network. I think Deshpande can do a research work on that, develop a project, managing the people in the quarantine, and then it will be very, very helpful for the government. It's a very good idea. Okay, thank you, Arul, thank you, Madi, all of you. It's a good,
Thank you, sir.
Good experience for me, and then good exposure for me. Interacting with 150 people in one go, teaching on the online is also very good experience for me. I would like to thank Arul for providing me an opportunity at this point of time for being with all of you, and thank for Madi to be. We will say that timing. We have to learn from Madi. 9:30, 9:30 start. Thank you.
Sir, I have to say thanks, sir, because sir, I have to say lot of thanks to you, sir, because it is very difficult to get this kind of knowledge, people to sharing your idea to all the participants. So on behalf of all the participants, I have to say thanks, sir. Lots of congrats, sir. Thanks, sir. Thank you very much for your continuous support. Thank you, sir. Okay, sir. Sir, dear colleagues, good afternoon. This is Arul, a coordinator of this program. So this moment I want to share some information. I hope you all the participants are enjoyed the sessions. So all the experts are trying to clarify your doubts. Whatever you are posting in the chat, they are trying to clarify at the session itself. Still you have some doubt, means you send their mail ID. Already I shared. I hope you know all their mail IDs. You send the whatever you have doubts, you send to the mail. So definitely I hope they will clarify. They will send the reply. Okay. And tomorrow, and one more thing. So totally 190 participants we selected. Total registration are more than 1000. From that we selected 200. So I never seen above 120. Now you see the participants, only 85 people are there connected. So hardly I am seeing that only 120 people are joined in the sessions. Maximum to cross to 130. I never seen that above 130. And tomorrow is our last day, and it's an important session. The afternoon session we have the important session. So that is more important for getting the certificates. So in the first inaugural session, I told that for getting the certificates, two things more mandatory. One is the 80% of attendance. Another one is the 60% of the mark. You have to score 60% of the mark. In the last session, we have one test, online test. In the test, you have scored 60%. Okay. So now I am sharing some information about the tomorrow afternoon session. So if you are not willing, if you are not interested to getting the certificate, means please leave it, no problem. But if you want the certificate, means so 80% means you have to attend minimum 11 session. Okay, it is mandatory, it is not a coordinated decision. So this is the AICTE decision. So all the attendance are recorded by your login session. Whenever you are logging with your name and mail ID, so automatically recorded. Here there is no manual. Everything is computerized. Once you log in, once you log out the session, so all the session, your name and with your name, mail ID, all the things are recorded. At the end of the 14th session, once you click the submit button, we will get all the attendance detail from the individual faculty members, individual participants. So don't mistake me in the last moment. I can't help less. Okay. If you are not interested in the certificate, leave it. And tomorrow in the afternoon session, that means our session start will 2 o'clock. So our exam is 30 minutes. So 2:30 to 3 o'clock our exam. So total 30 questions. All are objective type questions only. So because of most of the participants are from other background also there, some other, not only computer science or electronics domain background, some other domain people also there. So for their benefits, what I am planning is, so total I will give 35 questions. So in the 35 questions, so maximum I will take 30 questions only. You will answer all the questions. So 30 correct questions only will be considered for the exam. So in the 30 questions, if you want to 60 means, so I think you have to score 18 marks, 18 mark. You will, if you are scoring 80 means, then you will cross the 60% of the marks. So the questions will be taken from the experts, whatever they are, the PPTs from the session, from their documents, from the session lectures only. I will take the questions. So you don't worry about that, from where the questions will come. So already we given shared all the PPTs to in your cloud. So you go through the materials, go through the documents. From that portion only will ask the question. Questions also already taken by the concerned experts only. Already collected the questions from the concerned experts. So overall the 35 questions. From the 35 questions, you will answer the 30 questions. So after the exam, one more session is there. That is a feedback session. That is also more important for getting the certificate. So for getting the certificates, three things are important. One is attendance, another one is a mark, third one is you have to individually, you have to submit the one feedback. So tomorrow after the exam, so I will share the link to you. You fill up the whatever the details they are asking, because whatever you are submitting the feedback, filling the feedback form, it will directly go to the AICTE. It is not in our hand. The details are not to come to the our institute, our website. It will directly go to the AICTE site. So that we have to fill up at the end of the last session only. So I will share that is also mandatory. So I will share the link after the exam. You kindly fill up the details. So for fill up the feedback form, you have to need some information. That information I will share through mail also, or I will put it in the chat as well as the WhatsApp also. I hope you understand all the things. If you have further any doubts, you send to me mail also. Already everybody knows my mail ID. You share to mail also, or put it in the chat box also. Immediately I will rectify. I will send all the details. So thank you one and all. So wish you good luck. Thank you. Mali sir.
So Arun sir, I think it is 15 minutes delay, around 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay, Okay.
The next session of Tapan is there, sir. 11, session number 11.
Okay.
Zigbee and IoT based system. So it's supposed to start by 2. So we'll start by 2:20, sir. Is it okay?
Okay, no problem, sir. No problem.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir. So participants, we request you connect by 2:20. Like the session will start by 2:20. We'll start the connection by 2:10. Thank you.